Daf Samach Beis, Amud Beis, 7 lines from the top. So we learned earlier that Rav Chisda holds Hoyel, but only L'chumra. But when it comes out of Chumra, he says he adopts the principle of Hoyel, that theoretically, if a situation could occur, we have to take that into account. Masiv Rav Huna Brei Rav Yeshua, HaPesach She'avar Shnosai, a Korban Pesach who the year passed. I mean, a Korban Pesach is only kosher if it's within the first year. It has to be within the first year of its birth. After that, it's no longer kosher for a Korban Pesach. It has a din of a shlomim. So if you have a Pesach Avrishnasa Ushchata Bismana Lishmai, then the next year came around. It's Yud Daled Ben Nisan, it's ever Pesach, and he shachted it Lishma, L'Shem Pesach. So now it's equivalent to shachting a shlomim for a Korban Pesach. V'chein hashaychet acherem L'Shem Pesach, or if he shachted other korbanos for a L'Shem Korban Pesach on Yud Daled Ben Nisan. Rabbi Eliezer Paisel, he says just like a Korban Pesach, that you shachted shaloi lishmai, Pesach l'shem another Korban is possible. So too, a different Korban l'shem Pesach is also possible. Rabbi Yeshua Masechet, and Rabbi Yeshua says it's kosher. A Pesach shaloi lishma is possible, but another Korban l'shem Pesach is kosher. So time bisman. Now, Rabbi Eliezer says it's possible because it's bismana. It's Yudal Benisa. Ha shaloi bismana kosher. But if it would be shaloi bismana, if it would be other than that, a different time of the year, it would be kosher. Then we would say that it was kosher. Then vabai. But if we hold of hoyel, why would that be so? Why would we say then it's a kosher if he shechted it during the rest of the year? Now we say it's kosher because you can't say that it's shechted l'shem Pesach because there's no Pesach the rest of the year. But however, we should still say it's possible because of hoyel. Because we should say that v'amai name a hoyel b'zmana paisel shalei b'zmana nami paisel. We should say hoyel at since. Since if it would be b'zmana, if it would be erev Pesach, you're saying it's possible. So even shalei b'zmana, it should be possible. Amar Rapapa says shiny hasam the Amar Kra v'amatam zevach Pesachu. The pasuk says zevach Pesachu. Hu b'avyos. It has to be it. Havyasa, it is. It must be, it has to be in this condition. It has to be in the status, Pesach for a Pesach. It has to be a Korban Pesach on Erev Pesach. So it has to be in that status. It can't change from that. So therefore we darshan, Hu b'avyasa, loy hu l'shem acher. Korban Pesach, he can't shach for a different Korban. V'loy acherem l'shmoi. And that's only, and also other korbanos you cannot shacht it for a korban pesach. However, we connect the two together. Bizmana shu pasal shumacher. When it's erev Pesach, when we say that it's possible shumacher, if you shacht the korban pesach for a different korban, it's possible. The korban pesach has to be lishma. There we say acherem psul lishma. There we say other korbanos are also possible the korban pesach. But shalei bezmanai, when it's shalei bezmanai shu kosher l'shum acherim, when he's kosher l'shum acherim ksherim l'shma. But when it's shalei bezmanai, when he's kosher for acherim, because the shalei bezmanai, the pesach has it in the shlomim, so it's kosher l'shem other korbanos. It's kosher l'shem shlomim. So acherim are also ksherim l'shma. The two are intertwined, they're interconnected. Rav Simla also the coming to Rav Yochanan came before Rav Yochanan Amrle Nesilan Mar Sefer Yuchsin. He said, bring out for us the Sefer Yuchsin. That's a droshes on Sefer Divrei Yomim. Amrle Mehechanad, he said, where are you from? Amrle Milud. He said, we're from Lud. Vehechan Maisavach. And where do you live now? He said, Nahardon. He says, in Nahardon. Amrle, he said, Ain't Nidoinim Loy Laludim Veloyna Nahardon. We don't teach the drashas of Sefer Yuchsin, not from people from Lud, and not people from the Hardah, but kol shekain da'at milud u'meisavach min Hardah. And certainly you, who you come from Lud, and you live in Hardah. So certainly for you that we don't. Now Rashi explains because there are things contained over there that have some psulim of Yuchsin from those people, and they were very strong people, and therefore they were afraid that they will take harm, that they will cause harm. So he said, therefore I cannot teach it. But he pressured him and he agreed. Rav Salmo said, let's learn it within 3 months, in the course of 3 months. Shakal Kala Pasuk Rav Yochanan took a clump of earth and threw it at him. Amr Lei Uma Bruya, the base of the Rabbi Yemeir, Barti the Rav Hanani ben Trajan, Madach Bruya, the wife of our mayor, the daughter of Hanani ben Trajan. The Sanya Tlas Mea Shmaitza B'Yema would learn 300 Shmaitzas, 300 limudim in a day, halachas in a day, mitlas Mea Rapsa from 300 different Rebbeim, Va'afilo Hachi Lo Yasi Dechei Vasa B'Tlas Shonim. But for this limud, to study this limud, she was not able to do it within 3 years. Va'at Amra B'Tlas Yarchen, you want to learn within 3 months? Kishak Lavaz, from the rabbis leaving, Omerle, he said to Rav Yochanan, Rabbi, Ma ben Lishmoy, Shaloy Lishmoy. So he asked him a shayla about Psachim. He asked him, what's the difference about Lishmoy, Shaloy Lishma? Lo Eichlim, Mishoy, Lo Eichlim. And the difference between that and Eichlim, Mishoy, Lo Eichlim. What's the difference that we say in the first case when it's Lishma, Shaloy Lishma, then we say that the korban is possible. If it was lo'echlem shlei lo'echlem, that the korban was shachted both for people who can eat the korban and people who cannot eat the korban, we say that it's possible. So he answered, he gave 4 chilukim. He said, lishma v'shloi lishma, that's psula b'guf. It's a psula in the korban itself. Lo'echle v'shloi lo'echlav, ein psula b'guf. That's not a psula in the korban itself. It's not to do with the korban, it's for the people who are going to eat from the korban or who are going to be yaitzu with the korban. In the case where it's both lishma and shaloi lishma, you can't be mavar which part of the animal is dan lishma, which one is shaloi lishma. It's one animal, and it has both intentions for the entire animal. But there you could be mavar the isur. You could say this part of the animal is for the oichlav, and this is shaloi loichlav. Lishma v'shaloi lishma yeshna barba avodas. That's applicable to all of the 4 avodas. But loichlav v'shaloi loichlav ain't barba avodas. It's only for the shchita. Lishma v'shaloi lishma yeshna b'tzibur k'v'yachid. That is a psul that applies both for korban tzibur, both for korban yachid. Loichlav v'shaloi loichlav ain't b'tzibur k'v'yachid. It's not k'tzibur k'v'yachid. It doesn't apply to tzibur k'v'yachid. Taisus asks, why do we can make that distinction even refine it more? It's only applicable to the Korban Pesach. It's not only a distinction between Yachid and Tzibur, it's only applicable to the Korban Pesach. Rav Ashi Omer, he says, it's not really 4 distinctions. He says, Psula Begufa v'ef shel Surah. He says, it's really Chada Milsi. It's really one. It's one part and parcel of the same. Dematam Amar Psul Begufa. Why do we say it's Psul Begufa? Mishum Dief Shelavar Yisura. Why do we say it's Psul Begufa? Because it's the Dief Shelavar Yisura. Because you can't be Mavar the Isur. You can't determine which part it is. That means it's a Psul Begufa. Meaning, it's not in itself a Psul Beguf. It's really a Psul of intention. But since you can't be mavar the isser, it's applicable to the entire animal, to the entire korban. That's why we consider it psula b'guf. Amar Rami Barav Yudav Amara Miyom Shenigna Sefer Yuchsan, from the time the Sefer Yuchsan was hidden. Rashi says it means forgotten. Tashash Koychen Shel Chachamim, the strength of the Chachamim became weakened. Vakom Oreinayim, and their eyesight was dim, meaning their understanding, their insights. Omar Marzutra ben Atzel la'atzel, he says that between these 2 words, there is a word of la'atzel shisha bonim, that's in Divrei Yom in Perek Ches, and Elo b'nei Atzel in Perek Tes. Between these 2 words, Ta'inu arba mea gamle drasha. There are 400 camel loads of drashas on it. There's so many drashas that were there, and they're in the Sefer Yuchsan that we don't have access to right now, and therefore it's Tashash, the Koyach of the Chachamim.